Sean Kelso and his left foot are sticking it hard to the SOTY conversation. Could Trump's proposed import tariffs kill off rollerblading? Sizemore's been dropping hurricane top negatives like it's the WRS uploaded again. People have been going turbo in Japan. Gumby's gone full lead in the blind. Nils has wrapped up something big. Jumbo accidentally leaked the new TNEC skate. Cudot is skating the cleanest he ever has. And Lino's been acting like 50 Cent in the comment sections, telling people to suck lollipops. Let's get into it all. All the stunts are performed by professionals. Do not attempt this yourself. While other SOTY contenders are asleep, dreaming of winning, Sean Freddy Krueger Kelso is appearing in their dreams and turning them to complete nightmares.
Beat my high score.
His left foot alone has been stomping on the industry for the last 3 years in a row, and this edit could well be game, set and match, triple turkey, grand slam, 3 years in a row. How many other skaters were about to drop edits in the next few weeks and are now thinking, oh, I might scrap that actually, let's sign off on a 2024, we'll save it to 2025, new year, new me. Let's remove the SOTY thing from the table for a minute and just think about how mad it is that he's able to step it up each time through these edits. At the end of last year when he dropped Reflect, people asked if that was his peak and where it could possibly go from there, which is not unreasonable considering he's got multiple decades at the forefront of skating under his belt. I mean, opinions came out in what, 2004? So to still be progressing now in the way that he is outstanding and unbelievable. Him and his brother go all in on every aspect of what they put out. The tricks, the filming, the music, etc. And it creates such high expectations, they've almost given themselves a harder job, but each time they exceed expectations. He's finding the improvements and the level ups where you didn't think there could be any. He's gone into the desert and come out with a case of Mountain Dew, a Mr. Whippy ice cream and the TV remote you lost 15 years ago. He's so good and so consistent, it's entirely possible people might be desensitized to it, but actually it's all mind-blowing. He seems to go all in for a frame promo. I heard Drake's about to sue Sean for defamation, mate. Whenever he drops, it creates a moment, which is an achievement that should be celebrated in itself. But is it going to be Sean's year again? Or does the pride of Latvia, Nils Jansons, have something that could throw a turnip in the works? Sean's edit wasn't for everyone though. Got bored of watching all the slow motion rolling away for 10 seconds after every trick. After every trick. Let me know when the coin drops. Broskow also got a frame, so does that mean there's an edit coming from him? It's an interesting year for SOTY, fair few names out there competing for it. And I'm already getting excited for next year because where's Sean going to go from here? Donald Trump has secured another victory with 50.2% of the electoral votes and is heading back to the White House, making him the first convicted felon to win the presidency. But what on earth does that have to do with rollerblading? Well, Trump's got some economic policies that can have a wide-reaching effect on all manner of industries, including niche markets like rollerblading, and it could get pretty tricky, especially if the products are coming from China.
China.
Part of Trump's plans are to impose up to a 60% tax on goods from China and a 10 to 20% levy on all of the $3 trillion in foreign goods the US imports each year. Going in hard. Americans stand to lose between 46 billion and 78 billion in spending power each year due to these new proposed tariffs. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said this would most likely be paid by the US consumer, a general view widely shared by other economists on both sides of the political aisle. So what does that actually mean? Well, basically, it's going to cost you more to get stuff from China to America. Say those tariffs come in. If a pair of new skates made in China costs $100, you're looking at an extra $60 on top of that to get it into America, which no brand will be able to completely absorb, so the consumer gets hit with it. People already wet the bed about skate prices. Imagine even just like 30% more on top of those prices. We want our pros to get paid, and we know the majority don't make a living from it, so royalties play a big part. This is normally achieved by a higher price point. Imagine how expensive a pro skate becomes to give the actual skater a decent royalty and the brand stay in business. People are always harping on that there's no new molds, no new technology, but like, Taking on anything new, trying to develop a new product, is going to be a seriously risky undertaking, especially in a market that's so small. And it's not just about the skates and the current consumers. People are always saying we need new youth, there ain't enough kid options, and the cost of entry is already too high, especially compared to skateboarding, which historically we look at as our main kind of rival. What happens when the cost of entry gets even higher? Like, less youth taking it up, the culture becomes stagnant and dies off. We'll be going full Blue Peter mode, making sole plates out of toilet rolls. Skate parks could end up looking like something out of Mad Max, or it'll go to the opposite end and become really elitist. Little bit of polo, little bit of rollerblading on the weekend, what? You rolled that one, Tarquin. Do it again, my son. Bravo, Bartholomew. Excellent, Savannah. Trump's idea is that it brings production back to America. I don't see that happening for rollerblading, certainly not quick enough to negate these possible tariffs. And they would still be at a premium price anyway. Could ag skate brands' HQs become centralised in Europe? I think it's interesting that most of the best skaters under 30 are coming from Europe already. The future stars are mostly from Japan, South Korea, Brazil, and dotted around Europe. Like, will blading completely shift from America? Could be some very challenging times ahead. Talking of East Asia, another check-in to see how unbelievably stylish all their skaters are. Did you catch any of the street inline skate series? For a little area, it was bonkers. Like, Japan's best skaters all trying to outstyle each other with ridiculous tricks. It was a full scale face melter. The most dream tricks per square meter you've ever seen. For the women, you had Misaki Katayama and Chihiro, who is having maybe her best year skating ever. For the men, Jun Shoha lost the plot on top soul based tricks. Yuto dove deep into his bag of liquid skating. People were frothing like a barocca over that 270 back cess to far side sweaty, but I think I prefer the 270 back to heel roll. And Noboru clocked in for his double shift, fast side to TTP full out, controlled front pud slide, hurricane switch top soles, and the sole 360 dark sole, which Shoichi was chuffed about. And I feel like that adds more weight to my opinion that he is one of the top 10 skaters under 30. So just 2 months after dropping Halftime Report, Mikhail Witzemann has dropped another section, fourth quarter run, aka the Hokey Cokey. In, out, you shake it all about. And it makes the previous edit seem a little bit like B-roll. In the previous one, it felt like he was skating within his comfort zone, whereas this one feels like a step up and possibly his best edit to date. Views wise, it's already cooking the one before. As always, it's very clean and considered skating, which serves Mikhail so well. You can see the very strong influences of people like Sean Kelso, Ryan Parker and Cody Refner, but also, and importantly, his own take on things, which is what's going to help him like carve his own lane. There's some really cool creative touches. Love the alley-oop soy to back cess to alley-oop top acid Roy cess out, or maybe my favourite, the back sav on the inside to polka cess out. But I think what really steps it up and made it different was him hooning it at the front Nugan to the 270 1.5 grab out, and equally boisterous, him pegging it to the disaster Roy's cess. Bringing in those kind of stunty feeling tricks adds another level, especially if you can keep it as stylish as he does, like the same with his other tricks. And he's potentially got another video coming before the year is out. Cudot has been in the SOTY conversation the last few years, and I think it's fair to say it's mostly off the strength of his competition and park skating. He has had some wild edits to go with them and travelled a fair bit off his own coin, which is really sick to see how motivated he is. But I feel like one of the issues keeping him off the top spot was the production of the edits. Previously, it felt like it wasn't much of a consideration for him, especially in comparison to Sean Kelso, who beat him the last couple of years, where like every aspect is accounted for. And with Cudot, maybe there was a few like slightly sketchy tricks in there as well, but that just goes with like the territory of what he likes to do. On top of all that, I believe people have a tendency to put way more weight on street skating as well, so it's great to see Cudot team up with people like Ant Medina, who's like a nicely worn leather couch when it comes to filming and editing, and his latest venture with Jonas Hansen, who deals in ultra crisp, looks better than real life type stuff. And this is surely the cleanest Cudot has ever skated. I mean, you really don't want to be sloppy when you know you're getting filmed in 8K, like dog leg landings burning a hole in your retina because they're so clear. As mad as it sounds, I think he toned it down a little bit. He didn't get caught up trying the deadliest trick going, but it's Cudot, so it's still like plenty rowdy. Plus, I sometimes feel like he skates street as if he's in an IYMTA with himself and doesn't realise he can like take his time. But instead this time he went for more measured and controlled. That True Mac front torque was absolutely lovely, man. I think with anything filmed this way, there's a danger of it looking a little bit too much like a car advert and being too far removed from what we think skating is, but I think Jonas plays it well. I'd understand like people don't want edits to be too clinical and prefer something like a little bit grittier, but I think it was important for Cudot to do something like this, and hopefully people can appreciate that he's considering it more. Junkyu dropped an edit, well, it's 38 seconds of him being the epitome of a street skater. He makes jumping over bins look cool. He's got all those little touches and the style that makes everything look great. He's creative, so it's captivating. He carries himself in a way you're just sold on what he does. And he's done a few gaps, which I've not really seen from him before, which adds another dimension of I am fucking brilliant to his skating. This channel runs off your support, so I appreciate every bit I get. You can help out by a like, a comment, subscribing's the absolute one. There's also Patreon, there's channel membership, exclusive videos, I've got merch, there's the new muzzle flights up on the muzzle site, that all helps. It really is the thing that keeps this channel going, so cheers. So after the success of the NY pop-up, them have got a more permanent store in New York, making it the first skate shop in 10 years for the city.
There hasn't been a shop here a decade at least.
How can you not back John, the insane amount of things he's done over the years? Even if you just count them, like the royalties, the collabs, the content they produce, this new store, which is so important, offering people somewhere to be able to actually go and try on skates. And I'm sure there's plans for more. They also dropped a heap of new merchandise, which looks decent. Still don't know if this box is a new skate or not though. So maybe there's another skate before the end of the year. Obviously John posted about it and Lino is in there being a silly Billy, as he does sometimes. So he goes, "Congrats John and the NYC skating community, it was really needed. I honestly wish the store would also sell other products than just them skates, but I understand the investment and them skate store concept." That and the flaming heart emoji. Like going into the Adidas flagship store and being like, oh wow, like first store, like NY, like bet this took some graft there. I suppose you fancy getting some Slazenger trainers in here. I've got a couple of pair of Longsdale trainers that you might fancy the look at, and like dare I say get a bit of Nike in here. On the surface you kind of think, yeah, that is a nice wish. Like who doesn't wish that we had like stores all over the place? And like I wish Ricardo would share every single one of my videos on his channel that he's worked really hard to get, what, 120,000 more subscribers than I have. Like, to be fair, like, he has shared a few of my videos in the past, but then also, John has literally just put on the Blading Cup, which is open to any skater, any brand in the industry, and they have a pretty substantial trade fair. So it's not like John's being tight. There's a sensible reply. If company brands want to have a presence and space in New York market or any space market, they should invest in it. Like, it's just as simple as that. Which seems fair. Like Ricardo doubles down though and replies, "Suck another lollipop." I've not heard that before. Is that kind of like a similar phrase to "you can't teach your gran to suck eggs"? I love that one.
You can go suck eggs in hell.
Suck another lollipop. oh my god, excuse me. Going full 50 Cent on him. Lino continues, "I'm aware what an industry is and I understand what John is doing and I respect it, but I'm entitled to an opinion and I shared it. You may like it or not." Mate, you're trying to sun a person that is involved with much bigger brands and works in a bigger industry. I'm not sure that is the move. Like, also you said wish to begin with and then you said you shared an opinion, and they're like two different things. Like, you can wish them stocked other skates, but you're saying it's your opinion, so is it your opinion that like they should have other skates? There's another comment, it's a them skate store, not an every skate shop. Yep, totally back and agree with that. And then Lino's last message was 100%. I know, it's amazing, but as a skater who have been in NYC a couple of times, I can still wish the New York skaters would have access to try other skate brands. For the brand and our sport, this is amazing, but it would also be great to have other skates available. Maybe not at them skate store. Lino thinks this is great, says he knows about the industry, understands like all the investment involved, like all the risk and stuff like that. So then what is the intention of bringing up other brands? Like, John's not opened up a wishing well. If you know how much of a struggle it is to get things going, but then effectively you're saying, I wish you were doing more, that's just backhanded. Or you're purposely playing naive in spite of the fact like you're claiming to know like loads about the industry. Like, you wish he'd put more financial risk on himself beyond the shop in New York to stock other brands who take no risk. Like, if Flying Eagle opened up a store, would they honestly stock them skates? I'm not too sure about that. And on a side note, John does actually stock other brands in like Dead and Intuition, like brands he's built up a relationship with. I wish you'd put yourself in a highly risky situation that would most likely cause you to fail for the benefit of other brands that wouldn't even help the industry in the long run, because one of the brands doing the most for the culture would end up losing a shitload of money.
Wipe me down and sign me up.
I think it's totally fair to be critical, but not when the logic doesn't really even stand up and you know it. So it's just a silly comment and kind of pretty pointless. Like, reach out in private if you want to talk shop, or like take inspiration, talk to the brands you know, try a pop-up yourself and like see what happens. And I mean, part of the reason I'm calling this out, I'm calling Lino out, is because he's not that guy to be sassy in comments, and he's seen as like quite a prominent and important figure in rollerblading. And it's like, I expect more from him, but I don't expect more from him at the like an extra financial burden on himself. Like, next he'll be jumping on John's shoulders being like, oh, can you carry any more of the industry please? When Lino did the video promoting Adapt around the time the levy situation was being brought up, he ignored it. He wasn't like, great skates, but I wish you wouldn't threaten to break teenagers' legs.
We can't let anyone die to make this video. No bodies were harmed in the makeup.
Mate, be more like Jan Welsh. He owns a brand that isn't stocked in an M Skate store, and he was buzzing about it. He was full of praise, and he was giving dumpling recommendations. Sticking with New York, the Them Lot and their associates put out Big Milk on Express YouTube. The roster for this edit is off the Ricky trick. Always a treat getting more Broskow footage, some ridiculous skating from Danny Beer. David Sizemore does a Hurricane negative top acid, which reminded me of when he done a Hurricane top Mistral back in the 2012 WRS Uploaded.
How did he do that? How did he do that?
I actually thought it was a Hurricane top acid to begin with, until I seen him posting about it and watched it again more closely. Stunning. Sean Darcer's got some sick bits in there, there's clips from a few other people, but I think it's Marius who has the most clips, and there is just something really appealing about his skating. Maybe it's a super old school feel, like the authority he does his tricks with, all those little details he adds, or that it all just looks so natural. Top edit. Mesmer dropped a whole new line of clothing. You've got some sick hats in there, one that's a nod to the New York Mets. You've got shiesty in there, you've got girls tops, you've got shirts. All sorts of delightful stuff. 600 odd likes, 30 comments. They drop a bag, 1,799 likes, 134 comments. People were like fizzing about this like a salted snail. It looks like it does it all, like get your camera gear in there, your skates are stacked round the front. And I like the fact that they're like partially out in the air so you don't honk out your bag and like paralyse your cat opening it when you get home. Also the fact that they're not on the side, which always makes me feel like an obnoxious dickhead, like walking around with these like kind of stubby wings on the side of a fridge clattering off people as I walk by. TNEC have another team skate on the way already. You might have caught it slightly early when Cody left it in the last jumbo piece. This time they've gone for a white, light and dark grey colour combination and made a few little adjustments. So previously they had a riveted cuff and a riveted buckle, which was great for newcomers because it was less to think about, easier maintenance, and it was cheaper. But there was issues with the cuff going forward in getting stuck and then also just flex generally, so hence the replaceable cuff bolts and now the extra long hockey laces as well for extra support. Our favourite Bodega loitering scallywags, the Bodega boys, are back with their longest and third full-length edit for lovers. A love letter to the city, to friends and skating. It's a heavy roster. The main faces involved are Sam Levington, Augusto Castillo, Rob Silcox, Christian Delfino, Ariel Saran, Alex Ryerson, Justin Broskow, Jeff Levy, Mike Therese and Jeremy Raff. All of their skating is so in tune with their environment. They make a very hectic and raucous city feel like the biggest playground going. Barcelona is historically considered the best place to skate, but the way the Bodega boys use and present New York makes you think, actually, maybe this is the new place to be going. They make it feel like it has so much potential and they're already like well and truly tucking into it. And maybe that's just it actually, like it's their abilities being on the same frequency as the city that's driving the appeal. The reality would be it's a fucking nightmare to try and skate the place. They've been raised and nurtured on a diet of these spots, sucking at the teat of New York City skate spots. Like a good parent, it provides everything they need. They didn't wrap them in cotton wool. They made them work for their skills. These are the spots that were there for their first grind, birthday, bar mitzvah and graduation. I feel like Therese knows when a new crack appears in a paving slab that he can utilise. He just has a sense for these things. He treats skate spot research like it's a heist. John from Pinot Meat Market regularly drops a bin lid at 6:07 every evening. That gives me exactly 31 seconds to bonk off that to this rail. On top of the great skating, between them all they are absolutely unreal at making videos. The filming is great. You capture a sense of New York life, not just the skate spots. And the music was spot on, which is refreshing considering some of the woeful howlers we've had this year. You can just tell they really care about it, and it makes you care about the edit more as well. The Bodega boys add so much weight to the argument that crew edits are quite often better than team edits. USD have dropped a couple of new ones. The Aeon 80 Salvia has been on their website for a while, but they actually properly announced it the other day with Sam Crofts proving he can salve in any skate setup. I'm pretty sure he'd find a way to do it in flippers. I really like the colours on these ones. I feel like they could have been a good pro colour actually. They also dropped the improved Aeon Basic 60. The updated Aeon also tweaks things up with a smaller cuff on various sizes, dialing in that flex for better control.
Flex.
And Eugen, going for hardest working employee for the 10th year in a row, has put out a promo edit demonstrating the things. He can skate anything. I really like his skating in Aeons actually. And down in Singapore there is skater Chloe, who had a feature done on her by CNN Insider, which has over 1.93 million subscribers. They're basically just chatting about how great she is.
She started winning at 3 years old.
She came to ag skating via speed and ice skating.
And she got a gold for inline speed skating.
Really interesting to see more of her story. And then she's just posted up a clip of her doing a 270 topsole, both natural and switch, which feels insane for someone who only recently turned 7, especially when you find out her skates are too big for her.
This skate is until here. That's so big. My mother keeps asking me to grow my legs.
Voting for Skater of the Year will be happening soon, and I'm sure the skaters appreciate your vote, but I think we as a community can do more than give them a pat on the back and post congratulating them. I'd like to raise at least 5k to be split between male and female Skater of the Year to reward their achievements and to make it feel a bit more meaningful. Very few people are making a living from rollerblading, probably not even close to it. So all the time and effort put into what we see from these skaters is driven by passion, with the expenses covered by themselves. And how much content do we enjoy for free? The edits that have come out in the last few months alone deserve a couple of quid. Your money and vote goes towards something that could be a driving force for more content. I hope this starts to change and becomes the norm. Either way, the skater gets a bit of coin and we get to hand out a novelty size check. The GoFundMe is up now. Massive thank you to those who have donated. We're 75% of the way there, which is crazy. I think this could be the start of something really great. Ryan Gillette dropped Gnarbro Copenhagen with my favourite intro to a vid this year. Sam Tufnell's in there. There's some fast-footed skating from Simon Isles. Steve Collis is in it and does a ridic true Mac gap over the stairs. Dominic Bruce makes an appearance. Elliot Stevens is in there. David Sizemore and Mick Casals. There's a really good vibe to this one and loads of those lovely little Ryan Gillette animated touches. Michael Broad dropped Kooks. Obviously I can't really show you the thing because it's a VOD, but I can play this trailer. It is absolutely bonkers. Between himself, Danny Malm, Alex Sams and a few others, It's like they tried to recreate 4x4 leading the blind. It's full on batshit crazy. Watching Michael Broad is an edge of the seat, sometimes watching through your hands kind of situation. It's a combination of the shorts and the what feels like a blatant disregard for his safety and just keenness to do anything that is like rowdy, man. And a huge plus is that Cameron Talbot has another banger of a section in it. He's had an incredible year, and this part just adds more big tricks, more creativity, and just all round amazing skating. His case for SOTY is really strong. Loads of great names in there, well worth the like minimum $5 that they're charging for it. Special shout out to Jet Crawford, son of Scotty Crawford, who put together a skate documentary for a school project and got himself a Shape nomination as one of the best in state. It's a beautifully crafted piece taking a look at the power of rollerblading, the impact it's had on those that pursue it, and the community's passion. Well worth checking out. And if you're looking for one last vid to watch, Razor's put up the team vid for the Colt Low. Plenty of great skaters in there and some really cool tricks. Because it's filmed by 12 different people, it's not totally cohesive, but I'll give it up to Jason Adriani. He's made it feel fairly seamless given the tough job he was presented with. Cool to see loads of skating from him as well. Hasn't he been due a pro skate for ages? Massive thank you to my Patreons and channel members. Without your support, I simply couldn't do this, so I'm forever grateful. Here's a couple of videos you can watch until I'm back again soon. Spotty Dog.